Bonjour, Monsieur Mike.
And bonjour, me lucky charm Edwige.
How are you doing today?
I am as outstanding as always, and always a pleasure to be here with you on Heart Chat.
I'm so happy.
Me too.
So, do you believe today is episode 14?
14 already?
Yes.
Flying by.
On the last episode, it feels like summarizing the Netflix series here.
Our synopsis,
Last
yes.
episode, what did we have? We talked about feeling like $1 million you and having the self-esteem.
Right.
So to me, what makes sense to move forward in the conversation is to add the art of communication. Like we want to call it communication on the road, because it is a communication to take place. It's about articulating your thoughts clearly, expressing your feelings, and having the confidence to do that. What do you think?
Well, I think that's an excellent point, because as someone who's done a lot of interviews in my time, and I've done a lot of them, one of the things I learned is that people are often not hugely comfortable expressing what's in their heart and saying what they mean and what they feel. And they kind of get hesitant. They're afraid they'll be taken wrong or not understood. And I mean, it's a two-way street with it. It really is. And what'll happen at the end a lot of the time is people end up just making and falling back on small talk, things that are superficial or really mundane. And that's not a great form of communication.
But it makes sense why people would do so.
I understand it completely.
Because things must have happened in childhood that affect you today.
Oh, it's big.
And you don't want to be rejected. You don't want to be mocked. You don't want to be judged for saying what's on your mind and in your heart.
Sure.
And it reminds me of what happened to me in my childhood.
Tell me about it.
Well, you know, I was raised by grandparents that were very religious, Catholic. And I started to question around 12 years old, you know, about who is God and can you find him somewhere else than the church?
Right.
Well, that was not a discussion to have. So I was told that whenever I wanted to express myself,
Right.
that I didn't know what I was talking about. Oof.
And I can see how that would have really a lifelong effect. The funny thing is, my situation was kind of like same planet, different worlds. I was raised by very devout Catholics, but the questioning, the conversation was a very natural part of it for me. And because we had open, honest communication, I ended up, my faith grew at that time, and I ended up having a different view of it. So you can see it's just a difference in the way that the communication was handled, because we were probably asking the same questions.
Well, talking about God,
Okay.
do you know the only way God would not communicate to us?
What's that?
Facts. Okay.
I love it. You've got your facts. I'm going to bring up FedEx, because I had an ex that was very much like FedEx. Not a lot of communication. Didn't seem like there was much respect for my stuff. Never came and often found a way to make me feel like it was all my fault.
All right. You know the fastest way of communication, Mike?
What's that?
Silent language travels at the speed of light.
Oh, it does. That's a great point. It's a wonderful tool. I got to tell you, my favorite tool for communication. You know what it is? The sledgehammer. Man, the sledgehammer of communication. If you want to shorten an annoying conversation, there's nothing like it.
Okay. So, that was fun. I think you all
I
had
always
fun.
enjoy those.
But now let's get back to being serious on this
Let's
topic.
talk about it.
I know you like the idea of driving, right?
I think it's a good metaphor.
Metaphor on driving on the road.
Yes.
And paying attention to the signs, because we are not alone on the road.
That's really a brilliant idea, because you can't just sit there, communication or on the road, cruising along at your own speed. There are other people, other vehicles. And where are they? Are they next to you? Are they in front of you? Are they behind you?
Yeah, and that's not a good idea, because if you have somebody behind you, that means you're speaking too fast for them. If they're ahead of you, they're speaking faster than you.
Right.
The ideal position to be is next to you.
Side by side.
Yeah, so that you really relate and like each other.
Well, you've got to make sure you look for those signs. I mean, it's like ending up kind of at a stop sign. Okay? It's important. You can ask, is what I'm saying making sense? Is it something that you're able to relate to? Then that person is going to feel like, well, I'm being heard. I can speak. I've got a right to weigh in on this at this point. And people are engaged. People are happy then.
Okay, but what happens if the person who is engaged with you has nothing really interesting to add on to your conversation?
I guess you got to keep an eye on it and just be polite. Be ready with a turn signal to feel like somebody's tapping that brake.
All right, so what you say, you can change lanes if you don't like it?
Feel free. You've always got that option.
Okay, so if I choose to go left and then all of a sudden I feel like going right, I skip over and I can do that. Okay.
All right, well, hold on. That might be a mixed signal. And that's the whole thing. I mean, it's if you're signaling one direction and then all of a sudden you go to the right, that's not the most honest form of communication that there is.
You, like...
Oh, I got you right there. Don't worry about it. But here's the thing. Choosing to ignore signals or giving the wrong ones, that's an awfully quick way to have an accident. We need to pay close attention to communication.
And also, we need to pay attention to body language. You know, when you're in the presence of somebody who starts folding their arms like this.
Hear Darth Vader's theme in my head.
Yeah, to me, it's defensive.
Very.
Now, if the eyes start to be glossed over, that means they don't hear you.
Right.
And then what else is there in the communication with the body language?
Oh, well, there's all kinds of things. Is somebody making eye contact with you? Are they leaning in or are they backing
exciting.
out? They're very important. I mean, we can do this and it's like, wow, obviously we're having a good conversation.
Yeah.
If I'm kind of...
leaning back, that means I'm questioning this conversation.
Exactly.
I'm not on the same page.
There's a wall and you're putting a physical distance there.
Yes.
And it's an important thing. And I guess the key thing here is pay attention to how you feel during this.
Okay, but also pay attention to yourself, how you feel, and that you are in charge of changing the conversation. If you see it's not being accepted the way you want, you have the power to change.
We can clarify.
Yeah.
Or if you feel like it's...
and ask, am I making sense to you?
Am I making sense to you? That's actually a big one.
Yeah, making sense, because it's not about enjoying you. It's about, do I say something that you relate to? And have the person join in with you.
Relatability is a huge factor in that.
Yeah.
Be who you are. And here's another thing about it. If someone is in such a completely different lane, or they are really going a speed you don't want to go, you have the option to change lanes. You have the option to exit off of that highway
and say goodbye.
And there's nothing wrong with doing that. That's where the honesty comes into this. Know what is important to you.
And also, when somebody monologue a little too much, it's about a dialogue. It's not a monologue. But some people would love to do that. And some people are interested in doing that. But I believe we need to step in at the right time to add on something to the conversation and go back to a conversation.
Well, that is a conversation. It's a back and forth. It's not just one person talking. Well, no, but you're right. A dialogue versus a monologue. But people confuse monologuing with conversation all the time.
Oh, my God.
And one of the big things, and you said it so beautifully earlier, ask the question. You can say, is what I'm saying making sense to you? It shows that you're invested in conversation with that person. And it's gonna foster a real connection. It's a great way to start a bond.
I also believe that if somebody tells you, I'm not interested to talk about that, we need to respect that and not convince them that they're wrong.
No, you're missing my point. Wait, you're not listening right. No, those things. Now, it's a fair question to say, interesting, why are you not interested in that? But that can be done without hitting those hot buttons and using that sledgehammer we talked about earlier.
And also, it's important, if you listen carefully, for the person to understand that you are doing the listening is to recap and say, I heard you say so and so. So now they feel heard, they feel acknowledged. And it will bring the rapport.
Well, it does. That rapport is so important.
Very close.
It also shows that if you're recapping and saying, this is what I'm hearing you say, then you're going to know that you're getting the signals properly. It's an opportunity to clear up misunderstandings before they even start. Very
Okay,
powerful.
so we have covered a lot, and
have.
and I know we could do more, but
course.
We can do it another time. And maybe the next time what we could do is using kind of a real story, and
Well, I think we have plenty of those stories to choose from, Edwige,
Wouldn't it be nice?
between the two of us. But the great part is, I mean, this kind of communication does lead to very efficient and real bonding.
Yeah, you're clear. But you need to have the self-esteem to do it. You need to feel the $1 million you.
Right. Refer
And
back
you-
to the last program,
and
Lucky
you need
13.
to speak your mind, even if sometimes it's a little scary to do so.
Do it. Hey, again, that's how you get to destinations, right? Everything is a journey as far as that goes. And as usual, we're on the same page in a shocking development.
And the shocking development is that, again, what do we have?
We've got the power
Your
of questions
questions.
for you. So let's ask them.
Okay, question number 1. Do you feel comfortable speaking your mind and communicating what is in your heart?
Hey, well, of course. Otherwise, I mean, if you're not, then your map isn't going to take you anywhere.
Yeah, avoiding the superficial things to get away from taking a chance to connect.
That's right.
2, what stops you from feeling in charge in carrying a conversation?
And that's important. It can be things like what you experienced when you were a child. It's often something like that. But kind of bringing that stuff out into the light can certainly help to break it
Yeah,
down.
and don't feel like you being victimized, sitting there listening to somebody monologuing. You have the power to
Interrupt and ask.
with a smile at the right time.
Hey, the politeness is a big part.
3, imagine yourself feeling at ease, expressing yourself clearly and confidently.
That's a great thing to picture.
Yeah, because the mind doesn't know the difference
Nope.
between what's real and imagine. And as you keep imagining, you manifest and it becomes you.
Becomes your reality. That's exactly how it is.
All right, poem. I can't wait for the poem.
Okay, because I really kind of ran with the driving and journey metaphor
I
on
think
this
you
one.
did.
So
I can't wait.
here we go. Hope you like
Okay.
this. Communication is a journey, and just like any drive, there are things to be aware of to ensure that you arrive. Think about a four-way stop with cars on every side. You need to watch their signals for a safe, successful ride. And know when it's your turn to move and when to hold the brake. Communication's just the same. Cutoffs are hard to take. And when someone's leaning on their horn, the honking drives us mad. So listen in conversation. Tooting your own's just as bad. You wouldn't signal for a left, then turn right suddenly. So in communication, you must practice honesty. Be just who you really are. Your signals must be true. Keep eyes and heart open for the signals they give you. And when you found the rhythm and those stop signs fade from view, and now you're on the highway, are they going fast? Are you? If the car behind you's pushing fast and you don't like that pace, there's nothing wrong with changing lanes. It's a journey, not a race. So be honest, watch for signals in communications ride, and instead of a collision, you'll be cruising side by side.
Wow. This is amazing.
Like it?
I have to admit it.
Admit away.
Well, that every week you come up with amazing poems.
Thank you very much.
That really summarize for the viewers what we are
That means a lot to me.
trying to express.
Well, I have a great time doing it. I mean, we sit down and we kind of work this stuff
Yeah.
out. We have a lot of fun doing it. Our communication is great. So it leads
Yeah.
to bigger things. And the poems are just, that's the icing on the cake.
Yeah, and one more thing talking about that
What's that?
is to be with somebody that when you say something, they don't look at you like not understanding. The ideal partner
Sure.
for communication was that person takes what you gave them and builds
Add to it.
on it.
Well, that's a foundation. You build things on foundations, and that
And it
communication is a
grows,
foundation.
and you find yourself exploring new venues, new thinking, and coming out with breakthrough in your own understanding. of who you are
That's
and who the
beautifully
person
said.
is. All right.
I was thinking of almost trying to find a way to rhyme something with victory on that, but we'll get to that.
All right. All right. So let's do the meditation.
Oh, I love this part.
Okay. Uncrossing the legs. Yay. And putting your hand on your heart, the other one on your third chakra, which is the power, your self-esteem, your self-confidence, the power of who you are, and opening the heart, keeping it open to communicate with. And in this moment, feel the connection you have to the earth energy, feeling grounded. And then you have your head attached to a golden string, lifting you up to the world of infinite possibilities for what you wish, what you desire. And you begin to take those deep breaths, reminding yourself that breath is connecting you back home to a safe place within. So notice your belly expanding with your in-breath and then slowly contracting, pulling back in with the out-breath. Also feeling your heart beating slowly and peacefully in your chest. And imagine creating an image that you project on the screen of your mind. Imagine that you're in the presence of another person and you having a conversation. And being aware of the ease and the flow of what you say and what is coming back. And there is this input and output, the yin and the yang, coming together in perfect harmony. You feel so connected to this other person. And the more connection you begin to experience, the more open you dare to become. Opening your heart, sharing your deepest thoughts, and allowing the person to do the same. Creating this connection that will be such a bond between you two. A bond that will make your connection intimate, exclusive, unique, and a bond that you will want to have again and again. And feeling that it is mutual as you look into each other's eyes and smile as a sign of recognition of being in sync, driving side by side on the road to love, to joy, to everything you desire. And take a moment to really feel what you feel, see what you see, maybe feeling a connection with your hands to the other person, which is creating that body language in addition to that heart language. And you know that you have achieved your result. The bond is created. And with that smile on your face, take the time to breathe deeply and reopen your eyes to reconnect to the outside world. And I enjoyed that.
It's one of those ones that takes me a minute to figure out where I am again. Thanks.
You're easy into this meditation. Huh?
I love it.
And
Your
I
lessons are always
hope the
great.
viewers are enjoying it as much as
The
we
techniques in your book were great, by the way.
Thank you. And just so you know, I don't plan those meditations ahead. It comes to me, and whatever is, and I'm enjoying what came
Yeah,
today.
it was really good.
I want to thank the universe for that message. And we want to thank you for listening to us and appreciating. And
do it.
please share it with those that you love and appreciate.
That's right. Pass it on. Subscribe to our channel, The Heart Chat on YouTube.
It's a movement, the Heart Chat, and we want to really bring it to the whole world. We need to have that.
Join it today. It's a movement.
It's a movement.
All right.
Okay.
I always like to say at the end,
Victory to
you. Victory is yours. Claim it.
Au revoir.
See you soon.
À bientôt.